Electronic mail, commonly known as email or email, is a method of exchanging digital messages from an author to one or more recipients. Modern email operates across the internet or other computer networks. Some early email systems required that the author and the recipient both be online at the same time, in common with instant messaging. Today's email systems are based on a store and forward model. In this animation, it explains how email works. As you can see, the first client user is sending its email to the client user server and then sending it to the internet. The second client also goes through the same process, sending its email to the server, then to the internet. This process continues repeatedly. The second animation is a bit different, as one client user will send the email while the second user will receive the email throughout the internet. The process which occurs here is known as SMTP. This protocol is very useful. SMTP is required for moving mail on the internet. It's also limited to the standard 127-key US ASCII character set. The originating sender creates an email in their mail user agent, MUA, and clicks Send. The MUA is the application the originating sender uses to compose and read email, such as Eudora, Outlook, etc. The sender's MUA transfers the email to a mail delivery agent, MDA. Frequently, the sender's MDA also handles the responsibilities of an MDA. Several of the most common MDAs do this, including SendMail and Gmail. The MDA accepts the email, then routes it to local mailboxes or forwards it if it isn't locally addressed. SMTP, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol, is a TCP/IP protocol used in sending and receiving email. However, since it is limited in its ability to queue messages at the receiving end, it is usually used with one of two other protocols, POP3 or IMAP, that let the user save messages in a server mailbox and download them periodically from the server. In other words, users typically use a program that uses SMTP for sending email and either POP3 or IMAP for receiving the email. On Unix-based systems, SendMail is the most widely used SMTP server for email. A commercial package, SendMail, includes a POP3 server. Microsoft Exchange includes an SMTP server and can also be set up to include POP3 support. SMTP usually is implemented to operate over Internet Port 25. An alternative to SMTP that is widely used in Europe is X.400. Many mail servers now support Extended Simple Mail Transfer Protocol, ESMTP, which allows multimedia files to be delivered as email. IMAP, Internet Message Access Protocol, is a standard protocol for accessing email from your local server. IMAP, the latest version is IMAP version 4, is a client-server protocol in which email is received and held for you by your internet server. You, or your email client, can view just the heading and the sender of the letter and then decide whether to download the mail. You can also create and manipulate multiple folders or mailboxes on the server, delete messages, or search for certain parts or an entire note. IMAP requires continual access to the server during the time that you are working with your mail. POP3. In order to collect email messages from the mail server, the email client contacts the mail server and supplies it with an account, user, name, and a password. Only then will the mail server offer a count of pending messages stored for that account. Armed with the quantity of messages awaiting it, the email client requests each message, one at a time until all of the messages have been retrieved. After the client application has downloaded the messages, they will be either deleted from the mail server or marked as having been read, according to how the mail server has been configured. Mail servers are usually configured to limit the maximum quantity of stored messages for any single account, whether the messages have already been collected or are still waiting to be